Hey, what is up guys, Parashat here, once again, bring you another deck profile for the Dragon Ball Super card game. This time I'm going to be doing a Lord Slug deck profile for Set 6, even though Set 6 hasn't been out yet, but I've been playing a little bit online, just giving a general feel for how the decks I'm interested works, and I'm also going to say in this video what I think looking into Set 6 is going to be good, and yeah. So a lot of this deck is a pretty standard green deck. The main objective is to hand control. I do believe a lot of the hand control players, a lot of Soul Chain users, I guess, people that really enjoyed that deck, will most likely move on to play this deck in Set 6 because it's honestly extremely powerful. I think it's probably one of the best decks you can run, especially for green. I believe this engine here, the Lord Slug deck, is the second best green deck. I think the best green deck next set will be the Broly stuff, but I think this will be the second best one. So the reason why Lord Slug's really good is this new one drop here reduces the when you have it in play. You can only have one in play. You get to reduce the cost of all other Slug's army cards in your hand by one. So that allows you to play things a lot cheaper, obviously. So the main card being the 3-drop on the right there, the Adonic Warrior Angela, however you say his name. That card's insane because normally he's a 3-drop critical, 15k, which 15k critical is already really good. It was back in set 1 was insane, but since you're playing it for 2 energy, that's really good. Like, that's an infinite amount of times better. And on top of that, he has an effect for if you have a Bantu, Bantu Slug's army, when this card attacks, your opponent has to discard a card from the hand. So being a 15k crit, swinging into your opponent's lead and forcing your opponent to discard a card, you gain minimum 2 card value. So when you play this card and you swing, you gain 2 card advantage, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. it's honestly absurd. So that's the main reason why that one drop is the main reason why Slug's army is getting an insane buff. And they also announced the Destroyer rares, which, by the way, Majin Vegeta looks so beautiful. Oh, that card looks sexy as. Just, by the way, Vegeta fan, just saying. But yeah, the Destroyer cards, Slug's probably the second best one, in my opinion. I think the best 3 of the Destroyer rares are definitely Janemba by far is the best, because holy moly, the deck that's performing the best so far, let's buff it, make it mill 3 instead of mill 2, you know? That's pretty good call by Bandai once again. But then this and the Vegeta card both have pretty good effects. This one, what this card does is that when you play it, your opponent has to discard a card from the hand, which is, the general theme of the deck. Seems though, it's just hand destruction, and when you play this, he's got an active main for 1 green energy, which allows you to play a 3-drop Slug's army from your hand for free. Well, I guess for 1 green energy, so not really for free, but you get the idea. You can't summon itself, and it has to have an original cost of 3, so you can't play the 4-drop Lord Slug of this effect. If you could, that'd be pretty nuts. But generally how the deck would go, you try and get the 1-drop out as soon as possible, and then from there you try to deploy 3 drops and slowly whittle your opponent's hand down. And the cool thing about green as well is that because you gain access to preemptive strike, you can slow down your strategy, so to speak, to play around what your opponent's doing, because this deck is pretty good at controlling your opponent's actions, since their preemptive strike is essentially a green called Blood Blast that also kills the card they play. So yeah, this leader is just broken, not broken, but you can definitely cripple your opponent, making it really hard for them to play. The deck has a lot of things. Another thing they're introducing for green in this set is the Defending Father Paragus, which is the green super combo, which is currently, when this card comes out, it'll be the best super combo in the game, because A, it works with every green leader, so green gets this instantly a massive buff, and what it does is that it's very similar to the Hoi super combo, where when you combo with it, what the Hoi one does for Hirudegan is that you discard a card, then draw 2 cards with the super combo. This one, you do it the other way around, so you draw 2 cards first, then you choose which card you want to get rid of. So that's pretty insane, honestly. So yeah, nice. So yeah, that's generally how the deck works. Not too much else to say about it. This is just a very generic list. There's like Not too much things you can go outside of it as you are focusing on the Slug's army. 1 drop makes everything cheaper. The 2 drop lets you search for everything, and the 4 drop is when you get your plays happening, because you can play the 4 drop for 3 energy. You'll most likely have another Slug's army in play, and then you can revive another Slug army from your drop area and untap an energy. And then eventually you will EX evolve into the 6 drop, forcing your opponent to discard another 3 cards. Double strikers in here, closing out games, making your crit double strike as well. Leader is a crit leader on the front side, and on the back side, you just discard a card, probably being cards you can't use at the point in time, like maybe you have an extra shocking death ball or preemptive strike in hand. Discard that, or your surprise attack freezes. Sorry about that. Anyway, but yeah, no, it lets you filter through cards here. Not filter through cards in your hand. Sorry, it lets you keep on making every card in your hand have value, because you can use this effect to discard a card from your hand. And your opponent also has to discard a card from the hand. So you just control the hand for the entirety of the game, more or less. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. Tower, again, more hand destruction. The reason why I run Surprise Attack Freezer, this is just my personal preference on running this card, is because it does have critical, and you can just simply, your opponent might play something swing with it. You can just like block the attack or whatnot, and then you get to replace this card. And then when you KO something, even with Shocking Death Ball, it procs the Freezer skill, since it counts as KOing the card. So it's just able to get an extra body in play, and it's again 15k crit, so you're getting card value out of the swings. Now, I haven't put a sideboard in here. I haven't created a sideboard yet, but things you could definitely run here is you'll 100% need Krillin, the 2-drop from World Martial Arts Tournament. When you play it, kill a barrier card that is a 2-drop or less. Because there is the Mercenary Tau black card that counters this deck hard, because what the Tau does is that if your opponent's leader is green, which we are, and if they play it, it'll be a 1-drop. It has barrier, and whenever we make our opponent discard a card, we have to warp 3, so that's definitely a sideboard card to kill Tau, so he doesn't ruin our strategy of hand control. Another card to put in the sideboard would be the Father-Son Kamehameha card from set 2. What that card does, sorry, is you choose one of your opponent's battle cards that has a higher energy cost than your opponent's energy total. So let's just say now, for example, your opponent has played Baby, the 6-drop, and they only have 4 energy. We'll be able to target that Baby card for this effect, and that card will just instantly KO it. So this is mainly for next set Broly. Broly is indeed a thing. Broly is powerful. Broly is a very strong battle card that, I've played the Broly deck, and I have gotten the 8-drop Broly out on turn 2, and my opponent has literally been unable to play the game, because anytime they try to play something and do anything with it, I just KO it instantly. And because we're also the Broly's also called Bolus Leaders, like, it's really hard to handle a 8-drop card on turn 2, which is pretty nuts. So the Father-Son Kamehameha being an extra card instantly kills that card. Other than that, I can't really think of any other green cards at the top of my head that you've put in the sideboard. Probably just stuff like Konoha, stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it for the deck profile. Like I said before, a lot of hand control players or cell chain users will really enjoy this deck. It has a very similar feel to how androids used to play, being you just destroy. Actually, probably more similar to Broly from very way back in the day in set 1, the old school Broly, you know, that thick boy. But yeah, other than that, not too much else to say about the deck. It's pretty cool that these weaker colors that you used to be unable to run solo, you're able to now, with how Bandai is giving them really powerful cards. And yeah, and this is a deck I wanted to show to you guys, because not too many people, from what I've seen, actually posted about this deck. This deck is probably kind of forgotten about, because when Bandai were doing the teasers for it, they kind of did the green cards first, and that was like I think it was almost 3 months ago. It was definitely before Clash of Fates came out. It was definitely last year. So that's about it for that. And as far as set 6 stuff is concerned, looking in the future of set 6, stuff that I think is going to have a big impact, I think green is going to become very solid. Mainly the Broly and Lord Slug, I think, will be 2 of the better green decks you can run. Also the green Draft Box Goku that has the same effect as the yellow Broly from now. But green's going to be a pretty solid color. Broly's looking insane. Janemba's going to get being buffed next set with the new 4-drop. Also pretty ridiculous. I know we haven't seen the secret rares yet, but we know one of them is going to be Margin SS3 Broly, which I know you might be able to run in this deck. I don't know what the effect will be. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see for that. I don't think there's been that many actually green SCRs from memory, besides Victory Strike. So we'll get in the second one. That's crazy. And then honestly, the rest of the stuff from next set looks pretty Pretty lackluster. I think the next most interesting thing, because the blue stuff isn't going to be very good because Dende hard counters it, unfortunately, even though it looks really fun. So blue, for once, not the most crazy color next set. Yellow looks average as well because Bojack isn't very strong on his own. He just doesn't do enough, even though, like, in theory, his effects are insane, but he just doesn't do enough throughout the game, especially because the leader's actually pretty weak with being unable to do anything when you flip him over. No flip skill is pretty troll, surprisingly. And then the Gohan stuff isn't very good. Yeah, it's just not. Why would I play the Gohan one? Could I just hide a mastery? You know what I'm saying. Green again, said Broly. Hyper Train. Then we've got red. Gogeta. I think Gogeta's okay. I don't think it'll be amazing or anything. I think you can definitely. I think it could be pulled off, but I actually think the Freezer might be a little bit better than Gogeta, because Gogeta you can legit do what Gogeta does with the Chain Zeno. I said like legit, and that maybe 7 times in that one sentence, but that's okay. The Freezer stuff's pretty interesting. I personally will not be playing it. Control styles aren't my thing. I think this is a aggro control deck. Pretty AIDS diverse. It's not fun versing this deck because this Lord Slug deck, I'll give you an example of turn 4. So on your 4th turn, if you have the green card in play, what you can do, the green 1-drop, you play your Lord Slug for 3 energy, and then you get to revive the other 3-drop, the Margin Lord Slug for 3 energy, the Agent of Destruction, as well, and you have 2 energy open, you tap another green energy, and you play the Adonic Warrior and Jella from the hand. So you've played 2 cards. You played a card that forced your opponent to discard a card. You played a 3-drop with critical, that when it swings, your opponent has to discard another card. So you automatically made your opponent discard 2 cards. On that turn as well, you're probably discarding a card from your hand for Lord Slug's effect. So that's a 3rd effect as well, that your opponent, 3rd card they have to discard. And then, having to stop 3 attacks is pretty rough. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this deck when you get to test it online. It's honestly really strong, and I'm looking forward to making this deck in person when Set 6 comes out in the next, I think it's 3 weeks it's coming out in. Still waiting for the Secret Rares to come out, but this deck's just fun to play, and it's very strong. It's not fun for your opponent when they're discarding their cards every turn, which is pretty rough. Fun fact, this deck actually destroys Jinimba for the Jinimba haters out there. There's honestly not too much Jinimba can do, because most of the time you're denying them cards, like... Turn 4 is the turn Jinimba pops off, but our turn 4 is a lot better than their turn 4, because we just make them discard their whole hand. And because we don't draw an insane amount in this deck after we awaken, since though Lord Slug does not draw from his deck, he more draws from his life on his front side. It's pretty good. It's honestly one of the better matchups versus Jinimba, but yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this deck. Leave a comment of something you might want to see me try out, or, just subscribe to my channel, please. I'm begging you. I would really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, anyway, enough rambling. I want to make this one a lot shorter, which I'm happy I did. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to say. I'm just, smiling too much about my cool deck, But anyway, guys, this is True Pyro Shed signing out. Peace.